Hey man, welcome back, dude. It's good to see you, man. Every time we get together, it's always a good time, man. I see you brought all your homeboys with you too. Everybody just sit down and relax, man. Well, let me introduce myself to your friends. Welcome to New Stuff TV, your spot for infotainment and good times, baby. I'm your host, Antoine. I just want to chill and relax all day and watch my favorite comfort shows, Richardson. Since I brought that up, what's your favorite comfort show? Put it in the comments, man. Comfort shows, you know, the show that you can just put on at any given time of the day and just have on in the background and it still entertains you, but you could probably even fall asleep to this show, and it could be multiple shows. One of my favorites is King of Queens, man. I love that show, man. Arthur and Spence, they always getting into some crap, man. But I know y'all didn't come here to talk about my favorite shows. Y'all came here to see what's up with this Hisense U7QG. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. Hisense has been setting a new standard by making all of their mini LED TVs available from 55, 65, 75, 85, and all the way up to 100 inches, man. That is insane. They gave the U7QG 4-speed Demon HDMI inputs that do 4K 165 Hz, and all of their mini LED TVs have this backlit remote with a special feature that every other manufacturer just refuses to implement, and that's this customizable favorites button, man. Keep it up, Hisense. Now, every time I set up a new TV, the absolute first thing I notice is the build quality. The U7QG has an all plastic build, and it stands on two non-adjustable feet that get covered up by this plastic fascia that makes it look like it's sitting on a pedestal. Now, getting this thing set up is pretty easy, as long as you're willing to submit to Google's will. I mean, it is a Google TV, so I just let Google have its way with me. When I finally got into the homepage, the first thing I noticed was how sharp and clear the picture was. The next thing that caught my attention was the speed of the interface and how responsive it is to the remote. And as a guy who's pretty quick to complain about laggy TV interfaces and remote control disobedience, I was actually pleasantly pleased. Now, of course, they're going to give you a few presets to get you started with a good picture, but my go-to is always going to be something like Filmmaker mode if they have that one, or something similar to that. That set the color and motion settings to something that was good enough for me to just start watching TV. And a little later on, I decided to go in and turn the black level down about 2 notches, and then I played around with some of the intelligence settings, and some of them were actually pretty useful. But I gotta say, man, out of the box, all you really gotta do is set it to Filmmaker mode and you're good to go. I checked out Google Free Play and all the content in there looked great. Spoiler, 2 of my favorite channels are the CSI Miami channel and the Property and Reno channel. Now, the U7QG handles reflections really well, and with the help of that 3000 nits of peak brightness, I was actually able to watch a little bit of the House of the Dragon with all the lights on. Now, in order to get the best experience, try not to venture too far out left or right to the sides of the TV. In fact, you got about a 7 or 8 foot couch span before you get over there, and then you start experiencing some washout in some of your colors. Coming from my experience with the U8QG, it's good to see Hisense is committed to putting great audio into their TVs, and they put a 2.1.2 channel system into this bad boy, and it's tuned by Devulet. I hope I pronounced that right. Anyhow, this is the same stuff that's found in that 116-inch RGB mini LED beast that I talked about a couple of weeks ago. Man, oh, by the way, it ain't just for show, it really sounds good. Now, season 2 episode 7 is one of my favorite episodes of House of the Dragon. I love that scene where Vermithor finds his rider. He's like, man, let me just sort through all this riffraff and find my new master. Dude, he just starts flaming people up and tossing them around and stuff, and you can just hear the people screaming from every direction, and then you got the bass rumbling from his footsteps. Man, that all sounded great. So the built-in subwoofer definitely helps out with the immersion, and while the vocals are forward and clean, you can still hear all the sound effects during movies in their rightful positions too. When I was watching House of the Dragon, I had the volume set to level 22, and the sound projected from the sides and upward, making the soundstage feel just a little bit wider than it actually is. With my PS5, I can't really take full advantage of this 4K 165, but that just means it should be able to handle everything with no problem. Now, to get that game bar to show up for the first time, hit the menu button, slide over to where it says game bar, then toggle on the game console controller in the menu, and from now on, while you're gaming, all you gotta do is tap that menu button and the game bar is gonna just show up. Now, I noticed while gaming, all the picture presets default to an HDR variant. Playing something like Spider-Man 2 or Ghost Recon is the only time I'm gonna recommend you put a TV in vivid mode, and this preset gave me the most color pop and brightness. But if you're playing something like The Last of Us or maybe even Days Gone, HDR game actually makes the game look a little bit more cinematic and darker for that eerie effect. You know what I'm saying? Now, I can't really say there's anything I don't like about the U7QG, but there is something that annoys me. But it's not just the U7QG, it's pretty much every Hisense TV I've experienced so far, and that is the menu button. So, all right, check this out, man. I'm the guy that likes to do a quick check before I start watching a movie or something, just to make sure my settings are tight, you know what I'm saying? So you can hit the menu button just to see, and toggle your settings, it's quick settings, right? So you hit that menu button, and it just feels natural to hit the menu button again to make it go away, but that's not the case. You have to hit the back arrow. Now, I know it's a small nuisance, man, but I just feel like it's just more natural to double tap that menu button to make that bar on the bottom go away, or the quick menu to go away. It just feels like they could fix it with an update, man. Let me have my thing. Can I have my complaint, please? So Hisense, just for me, could you just adjust that? I don't know, whatever you gotta do, but that's my complaint. Other than that, the Hisense U7QG has been pretty awesome on all fronts. I checked Best Buy and Amazon, and the prices look just as good as this TV does. Now, I appreciate you guys coming to hang out with me for a while. And if you had a good time, make sure you tap on that like button, man. It really helps the video out, and I really appreciate it. Now, I'm gonna come back in a couple of days with some more new stuff. But until I see y'all again, keep being good to each other, and I'll see you when I see you.